Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be going through the solution to exercise 3.3 from the C programming language textbook by Kernighan and Ritchie. Now, exercise 3.3 says to write a function expand that expands shorthand notations like a-z in the string s1 into the equivalent complete list abc ... xyz in s2. Allow for letter of either case and digits, and be prepared to handle cases like a-b-c and a-z0-9 and -a-z. Arrange that a leading or trailing dash is taken literally. So here is the main function. I'm just testing it. So here I have a leading and a trailing dash. I have just some normal text in here, and then I want to print out the alphabet in lowercase, the alphabet in uppercase, and then 0 through to 9. Now, if you've done a little bit of programming before in languages like Python or JavaScript, you might notice this is kind of like a regex expression. All right. So the first thing we need to do is keep track of where we are in both strings, in S1 and S2. So I'm going to have an integer I set to 0, and this is going to be index into S1, and likewise I'm going to have an integer j that's going to be index into S2. Now I'm also going to have, I was going to make it an integer, but I'm thinking let's make a character to store what we just read in, to keep track of it, because since we're going to be looking at, like here, when we do the expansion of A to Z, we're going to be looking at two things at once, the A and the Z. We need to keep track of both things. So I'm going to just have a character called C, and this is going to keep track of the first letter in the expansion. So this would keep track of the A. Okay. Now I'm going to keep on reading. I can do it like this. While s of I does not equal the null terminating character, and then of course I have to increment I, can't forget that. But I'm gonna, in this very loop, you don't have to you could put this inside the loop, but just to keep things nice and short, I'm gonna assign C to the value that I've just read in S1, and then I'm gonna check if C, or if S1I is the null terminating character. Okay, now we need to do some checks. We need to check if we have an expansion. How do we know if we need to expand? Well, if the next character we just read in is a dash, that's if s of I plus 1 is a dash. But we also have to check another condition, so we have to and the character after that is larger than or equal to C, right? Because, for example, what if we had B-A? You can't expand B-A because B is larger than A. But if you have, for example, like A-Z, then you can expand. That's what this condition is checking. So if the character that's two spaces over to the right is larger, then we can go into our expansion. So let me make a comment. We need to expand. How do we expand? Well, the first thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to increment I to be at the index of that, for example, Z. So if I had A-Z, I'm going to make I'm going to move I over to the place of Z. You'll see why this is important now. Now I want to keep on copying whatever character I initially had and all subsequent characters until I hit the value of Si. So you can do while not equal to, but I'm going to do while less than or equal to. You'll see what I mean. I'm going to say while the character I have, C, while that is less than Si, and note that Si here now, since we incremented I, points to the character that's two places to the right of C. What should I do? Well, I should, this is going to cause me a problem when I compile, I already know. I should store S2, or set S2's jth element to be C, what we just read in. right? But this is not enough, because now we need to update C. We've stored it, say it was A. C was A. Now we need to make C equal to B. So C should be incremented. And likewise, J should be incremented to go to the next character. So for example, if we had A-Z, let's see what happens. Well, we read in A into C here. So C is set to A. That sounds kind of confusing. Then we check, is the next character a dash? Yes, it is. Is the next character larger than or equal to C? Yes, it is, because Z is larger than A. So this is true. And so we move over I. So now I is at I is at the character position that has the character Z. Then I say, okay, while C is less than whatever that character is, I'm going to do this. So here initially it's A, while A is less than Z. Store A, then this becomes B. Is B less than Z? Yes. C less than Z? Yes. D less than Z? And it's going to keep on going up until Z is less than or equal to Z. We copy Z, and then we break out of the loop. Okay, so that's that case done. But what if we don't need to expand? What should we do? Well, we should just copy in whatever we just read in, and then increment J. And yeah. Now, once we've reached the end of the loop, we should set the final element in, oh wow, again. We should set the final element in S2 to be the null terminating character. Yep, more errors. I want to catch these now before I compile. All right. Let's try this. And actually here, let's say going to expand S1. Okay, and then we'll see what it expands to. Hopefully this compiles okay. It does. Okay, going to expand this. You see the first dash has not been expanded. It's just a dash. So it's printed out literally, same as the last dash, the trailing dash. And then look at this. That part is here. This part is all the way till there. And the numbers are printed out, and we still get our hello message printed out. So it works just fine. Now that will be all for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.